Hello everyone, welcome to jobskillshare.com, and today we are going to be talking about first of all, if you're from YouTube, this is a course that I'm teaching, Help Desk Support Specialist 2014, and basically you go to this jobskillshare.com, you register, you go to basically course catalog, and then you will find Help Desk Support Specialist. You subscribe to it. Now if you're already registered, you know what you're doing, but this is for just a new user when they are joining in. So you go to the course here, and then you go to click on learning path, and then you click on Help Desk Support Specialist, and you will see the whole course will come in one page, and you get everything. So today I'm talking about actually Active Directory training, and this right here is just a text lecture that you can go through. I'm not gonna go through all this, so you guys can read that. But today's video is about what Help Desk Support Specialist really. What does it have to do with Active Directory? Why do we need to know Active Directory? We do need to know. This is one of the, I would say, something that you work on like probably almost daily. You know, if something happened, some password resets, new users and stuff like that. So I'm going to go through an example that will cover everything from the start, and like, you know, what do we do? How do we add users? How do we reset accounts? How do we lock or unlock accounts? How do we add groups, access different groups and all that stuff? So I'm going to go through that, and I'm going to add that video right below this section right here. Okay? So let's just start from an example here. So example is that you're working for jobskillshare.com. This is a company. Let's say this is your small company, and there's a new user. I just hired somebody new here. So the HR department, what they will do is they will go to their ticketing system, which is probably more like a page that they have to request ticket to request, like, you know, if someone gets added to the system or anything, and you can be using a different ticketing, so you can be using a Remedy, a BMC, ServiceNow, or anything like that, but I'm using a web-based managing in ServiceNow, which is kind of easier for me right now, so I'm using that. So what they do is they either go to their email or they go to their ticketing system, and we're going to use ticketing system because we want to learn about ticketing system for help desk. So they go in there and they create a new ticket. Okay, they go create a new ticket here, they name it new hire, and maybe this is like normal method of adding new users to their system. So they create a subject line new hire, and then they say Dan Khan, new employee, title CEO, and then they put a starting date 9/11/2013, and then they put other information like who's the manager of this person and other stuff they want to add, whatever. I mean, if it's helpful to their to our, like, you know, help desk. So then they go in there, they do other stuff, they basically submit the ticket to help desk. Okay, we go down, add request. So you see that request ID 74 is created. Now your part start as a help desk person or as a IT or whoever manages the Active Directory basic stuff. So you go as a technician, and then basically you go to requests, and then you see if there's a new request, it will come up here. So this is what I was talking about right here. You get a request right here, like, you know, you can, if you have other requests, you will see on the bottom, but I'm not gonna go through that because I'm teaching about Active Directory. So as a help desk person, you get this call right here. Now it's assigned to you. My name is, let's say, Tony, and Tony is the help desk person over there, and there's a new person, Dan Khan, is starting. What Tony needs to do is he needs to start his part now. I accepted this call and I'm gonna start on it right now. So this is Dan Khan, he just joined the company. Now Dan Khan is starting today. what I need to do is I'm gonna go ahead and add him in the system. And how do you do that? This is where the Active Directory training will help you in this course. So I'm gonna go ahead to my server. First, you log into server. This information will be provided by a manager or any supervisor or anyone that who who basically gives you rights to do this stuff on Active Directory. Now I'm teaching this on server 2012, and on 2008 server it's kind of the same method. There's not much difference to it, but only the look of server 2012, like the front view and everything, is a little bit different. So on server 2012 you can go to Active Directory in multiple different ways. Okay, the only one that I'm going to show is the easiest ones for you guys, because this is the only thing you're going to be working on, especially for this chapter. So one way to go to Active Directory and user computer management is to go to tools. Okay, I'm going to stop this. So one way is to go to tools. You click on tool, and then you go to Active Directory user and computers. This is the only part you're going to be working on to be able to accomplish that task that we just created. Okay, this is one way. Other way is to basically go to start menu and here's administrative tools. Sorry, my throat is acting up today. Let me get some water and I'll come back, please. Thank you. So this is another way that you can basically add Active Directory, start Active Directory user and computer. You can also put the shortcut on your desktop, so you can basically go from that from the shortcut too. But for me in 2012 server, it's the easiest one is go to from tools, and then you click on Active Directory users and computer. Okay, so now we are in Active Directory users and computers. This is where you do all that stuff. So what I need to do is I need to add Dan Khan to our system first. Okay, so what you do is you right click, you click on new, then you click on user. Okay, so Dan, and you make sure you put this information correctly. So you have to go back to your email, kind of like double check the last names, first name. You don't want to do any mistakes when you send the email out and then I see their last names are like wrongly spelled and you just created a wrong account. So what you do is you create that, and then you create a username depending on your company policies. However you name them, you can put like first three names, last three names, initials, and so I'll just use like first initials and last name. So dconcontoso.com, this is your company name. This should be your company name right here, which should be jobskillshare.com or anything like google.com, whatever. So you click next, and then you can either put this checked or unchecked. It's up to you. I'm going to uncheck it. This basically, if you put a password here and they log in for the first time, this will prompt them to change the password, and they have to change it basically. Okay, I won't play around with other options right now. I'm going to name it something. I'm going to put a password here. So I just put a password here, and then I click next, click finish. So now we have Dan Khan in our system. So Dan Khan is added to jobskillshare.com. He has an account now. Okay, that's one. You have just done the first part of adding him in the system. Now if you go back to that ticket, they had a little bit more information in there, like titles and stuff like that. So what you do is you go to the same username and then you click on properties. Okay, and you can add some stuff here, description, like some information that can identify this person, or office, telephone number, email address, web page if you want to. That's something you won't do a lot, the web page stuff. But the part that is important, and that kind of talks to our SharePoint. If you're running a SharePoint, anything that integrates with Active Directory, that pulls information from this area, then you need to put everything correctly, because it will update other systems. Anything that they basically get information from this area right here. So we put a job title here, CEO, department, IT, and then company. You put a name. And remember, I was like, if they put like a manager name or anything, you need to put a manager here. Then if they ask, well, this person is a supervisor of this person, so you will put that person right here. Who is this person, like you direct reports to, or if there are other people that need to report to this person, that you'll be added right here. Okay, so you click apply, and that information is basically added to this account. Okay, now let's go back to the second scenario. So the first one was, we let's say example was HR hired new employee. We did that. They send us an email, gets a ticket. We did that. We got a ticket. We start working on it. Email / ticket, new hire. Okay, so name was Dan Khan. We'll need all access. Dan is added to the AD. We did that. Dan computer is added to AD. Let's go back, and now this person needs a computer to log into our system. So what we do, we create a help desk. This is also a part of help desk. They basically get a new computer, or somebody's computer that is laying down in there. So what they do is they create a new image for this person, or or basically brand new computer, whatever, however you guys do it in your company. So they will do it, Dan Khan 1W7. So this is the name of for this new user. This is the new computer for this new user, and we just click OK. So this computer is added right now. So now we do all the configuration, installation, updating some Microsoft stuff and all that. We put that computer, we make that office get ready for it, connect everything, phones are working, we test it out, we log in as Dan Khan on this computer, and then we make sure that Dan Khan can access this computer with his account, and then we create email addresses and all that. Okay, so this person can access. When he comes in for the first time, everything is done for, he doesn't have to worry about new computer or anything like that, setup or email setup. So this person logs in, everything is working, he's straight to his work, training and everything. So now that part is done. Okay, so let's go to second example, or the other one that we were working on. So Dan worked for 160 days or whatever, how many days that you put a password in there. So domain admin, or anyone who manages Active Directory, they can put a policy that after 130 or 60 days, if the person did not change their password, they won't be able to log in, because their account is disabled, or their account can't get in. They can't get into the system because their account is expired right now. The password is expired. So what you do is, how does it work with help desk? They get a call, or they get a email from a personal email from a user, or they get a direct call. So let's say if they get a personal email and they send an email to help desk, hey, my name is Dan Khan, and sorry, I didn't change my password on the time, and now I'm locked out. Can you reset it? So in most cases, you would want that user to call you. Will you reply back and say, thank you for replying to us, blah, blah, our policies, please call us, and when we make sure that this is the right account, we'll reset your password, we'll send it to this account again, or tell you on the phone. That is basically if someone kind of trying to get into somebody's account that he knows that it's locked out, but they can send the email just to test you, or get a password of that person. You don't want to just send it to any other email. Like, I can make a Gmail account and say, my name is Dan Khan and my account is logged out, and please send me the password on this email, and you just send it to it, and second day that something big happened because of that. So you don't want to be in that situation. Just make sure, just tell a person to call us on this number, and we'll make sure that your work, that kind of, just from your side, make sure it's the right person. But if they do call you, and then that person is a legit person, your company person, and then they hey, I'm sorry, my password's locked out. So what you do is basically you go ahead and reset their account. You right click on it, you reset password, and you create a password and then share it with that person. Now in this case, you might want to do this, user must change password at next login. So when they log in, they change it to their password. So you gave them a password that basically is a normal password, like a basic password for everybody to when you get a reset calls. So now they basically go in there, log in, and then change that password. Okay, so that also is another ticket for you, and we solved that right now. Okay, let's talk about any other things that can happen. Dan account is expired. We did the reset password. Okay, Dan forgot his new password and locked himself. How can he lock himself? Now, one policy would be after 6 times or 7 times you try to log into your account, but if it's wrong, your account will get locked out. Okay, so what you do in this matter is basically is right. If you get an email or a call that my account is logged out, I can't log in, I tried multiple times and I think I'm logged out. So what you do is you right click on that account, and this happens, like, trust me, many times, because this cannot be only just getting to a computer. It can be a site that uses Active Directory credentials, and even if that on that site, if they try to do it multiple times, it's the same thing as they're trying on a computer, and they will lock themselves out. And you get these kind of calls all the time. So you might get an interview question if someone is getting logged out. How do you like unlock them? So this is how you unlock them. You go to Active Directory, you right click, you go to properties, you go to account, you click on unlock, apply. Okay, tell this person go ahead and try again. So if they remember the password correctly, they will log back in and everything is cool. If they don't remember, you do the reset method again. You just give them another password. So we solved this problem. These are all tickets. I'm telling you, you get these every, like, different emails, different on a different day. Something different will happen, and getting to know all this stuff is very useful. Okay, so what else? We got the unlock part. We got the let's say if you might get an email that Dan title from CEO changed to something else. So then you go back in there and you can just go back, right click on it, go to properties, and then go to organization and change the person title right here. This is another call for you. This is going to be another ticket for you. How do we use Active Directory? Other will be you get a call that Dan has changed the department and the manager has changed. You come here, you change the manager right here. So you see, why do we use Active Directory? There's so many things that can happen just from the same area. Like, this is one area that can you can get so many calls related to it. So that's why you need to know Active Directory as a help desk, because you gotta be working on this all. Like, I think a lot of calls you'll be working on this. So it's very good to know this stuff before you go to I mean, if you know this video, you watch this video and you go to a company, you would be, like, working on it like you already worked on something. So this is why I wanted to make something very detailed video about just the basic stuff that we do and how many calls we get just for one thing, like, one area. Okay, so now what else Active Directory offer for help desk? You might get calls about, like, an outside user. We need a contact. We need to create a contact group or a list that we can keep the email addresses, or put it in our system, so then our users can use the exchange and emails, and then they can use those contacts, so they can send messages to them easily and find those people. So what you do is you can also create stuff in Active Directory. You right click here and then you go here, and either you can create groups, you can create contacts here, or you can organizational unit, just to make things a little bit decent. You make OU, and then I'll just name it contacts. You can do it in different ways. You can even just create a folder and create contacts under it. It's up to you. I'm just trying to show it what you can do. So here you create a contact, you create a new user contact, and then you put the contact here. So let's say Dan is retired. He wants to use his personal email address, but he wants to get in touch with the company with, like, some kind of newsletter or anything that he wants to get information. You will get that contact. You will add that person right here with contact. You see the type is contact here. So you go right click on it, properties, and then you put his personal email, whatever you put here, and then you update that information. That is, even if you delete Dan Khan from here because he's no longer an employee, and he will still, if he's a member of some group that he used to get email from this when he was a user, now he's gone, but still he is in that group as a contact. He will still get that email. So this is the benefit of another thing, that you might get a call from HR that this person is gone. We need to put his contact, personal contact, so please add him, and this is how you do it. Other things you can do is, if you right click on it, you have other options that, to be honest, you don't work on stuff like on this level. This is mostly who domain administrators, network engineers who made the policies, who made the whole this subdomains and all that stuff. They are more like worried about this kind of level. You're not worried. You're basically working inside a department, inside like one area of users, and then you work on these like either groups, either you make proxy boxes. Like proxy box mean you create a group, and then you add a lot of users into it, so then when somebody goes into email and they want to send a message to like 20-30 people, they just select that group, and in that group you have multiple users. Now let's say, for example, Dan Khan is in like a IT member, or he needs a full access, he needs like access to install on computers, like use installations and stuff like that. You can change his membership. You go to properties, and then the member of, you can add member, like say like enterprise admin or something. They might have something here like enterprise admin can do anything. So enterprise admin, you click apply, you okay. Now this person is basically having more rights than just a normal user. He will no longer get like a username and password when he log into his computer and he try to install software. He would be able to do it because you just gave him a lot of rights. Now make sure you don't do this with normal user or just any other accounts. Run this by your managers every time you give somebody domain admin rights, because that's a very powerful rights that you're giving out. This was just the basic stuff, and in the next video I'm going to show you what other tools you can use, like little software, like some kind of like scripts that can run, or you can run it through your desktop. If you're a domain admin, you can run those and quickly find out whose password is expiring in how many days. You get like messages, whoever password get expired, you get a message. So that will be more like troubleshooting things towards Active Directory, because if somebody, let's say for example, call you that I can't log into this site, something is wrong, it's prompting me for username and password, but if you have already set up those tools that I'm talking about, you'll get a message that this person is logged out. He did a multiple time reply, so you will get like automatically know this person is logged out. Let me go and unlock him and tell him to retry on that site again, and he should be good. Now if you don't have that tools, and if you're a very like if you have done a lot on stuff like that, you might know. But if you're new to this stuff, you might think, oh damn, what is wrong with this site? I don't see anything wrong with it. You're going to be spending a lot of time just to figuring that out. So next video will be a little bit more detailed stuff, a little more stuff into it, but this was just the basic stuff. What helped us, why helped us needs to know about Active Directory, and this is why they need to know about Active Directory to cover all this stuff that I just covered right now, from starting to end, how a user basically works in Active Directory. Okay, so thank you for watching. This video is gonna be again under this section right here. Let me go back. We'll go back to Job Skill Share. This is gonna be right here under Active Directory, and I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, so you guys can go ahead, free course, and don't forget to go to the main page, and if it helps, put some comments so that encourage other users too. Alright, have a good one everyone. Bye bye.